Cowabunga, brah. Today's story is so fascinating, so intriguing that it's amazing that I got it before the New York Times. Stick around and I'll show you why.
Let the swing begin. Orwoll is at it again, and that cat is swinging. Yeah, that cat is swinging.
When I first went to Siem Reap, Cambodia, I wanted to see and do everything. I climbed the ruins of Angkor Wat. I ate raw beef coated in red ants. I drank martinis on the rooftop of the wonderful Jaya House River Park Hotel. And I helped explode bombs. Crazy, but that's for another story. Today, I want to explain why an otherwise perfectly normal Buddhist monk thought that I deserved to be inundated with bucket after bucket after bucket of water while I just sat there, wondering if the monk was having a laugh at my expense. Srok Tek means water pouring in Khmer, the name for a blessing given by a Buddhist monk who sprinkles water on the person requesting the blessing. I think the translation is wrong, though. I think it should be water torture. I had come to Siem Reap at the invitation of Christian de Boer, the general manager of the boutique luxury hotel Jaya House River Park. The hotel is a 5-star boutique property whose Asian deco interior recalls Cambodia's heyday in the 1960s. I mention this in case some of you are unaware that Cambodia, that beleaguered nation, before its 50 years of war and carnage, once had a heyday. Christian was eager for me to experience the hotel, of course, but I quickly gathered that he was equally determined to show me the real Siem Reap. You've probably heard the name of the city before. It's the second largest city in Cambodia, which isn't saying much since its population is only 245,000. It's most famous as the gateway to Angkor Wat, that seemingly endless ancient temple complex, much of which is overgrown by the aptly named strangler figs. That's why 99% of visitors come to Siem Reap, to roam among the miles and miles of stone temples, their pathways edged by deep jungle, where I'm pretty sure the macaques who occasionally attack tourists were plotting to kill me. The place is a little bit mystical, shall we say. But there's another side to the city. It's sophisticated in so many ways, with inventive chefs, au courant fashion designers, hip cocktail bars, international artists and galleries, and evil Buddhist monks trying to hide buckets of water behind their backs. Just down the street from Jaya House River Park is a small temple complex called Priya Enkosi, built by the Hindus in the mid-10th century and ultimately commandeered by the Buddhists. I visited with my translator, Ravi, since my Khmer language skills are a bit rusty. Priya Enkosi is home to 77 monks and 35 nuns, I learned. We walked up to a nondescript, stucco-walled building where we removed our shoes at the doorway before entering. First, we have to pray, said Ravi, lighting a stick of incense in what appeared to be a Social Security field office in Des Moines more than a religious site. Ravi instructed me to sit cross-legged at a low-slung table with my palms pressed together in front of my chest, hoping to give at least an impression of prayer. I'm not known among my family, friends, or the entire religious world as anything approaching pious, but I was willing to fake it. Shortly, we were joined by Someth Mien, a smiling Buddhist monk in traditional orange robes who was to give me the blessing. He asked me through my interpreter to think of the people in my life and my spiritual goals. I immediately thought of Linda Carter wearing her Wonder Woman costume and the goal of losing 5 pounds. Probably not what Someth Mian had in mind. He sat across from me and immediately began a long incantation that, of course, I couldn't understand. Occasionally, he would dip a brush into a bowl of water and then fling droplets in my direction. A water blessing, piece of cake. I could handle that much water all day, especially considering the lack of air conditioning on a 95-degree afternoon. If the water blessing had stopped there, I would have been fine with it. But in fact, and perhaps because I was in greater need of blessing than the average visitor, a more saturating experience awaited. Someth Mian, I continue to use both names because I don't know which one is his family name and which one is his Christian name. Buddhist name. Anyway, he's been a monk for more than 25 years. When he stood up, so too did I. We walked outside to an open-air staircase on the side of the building. A rain barrel of sorts rested on the landing, and Someth Mian took up a position next to it while I was instructed to sit on one of the treads just below him. My back was to the monk, so I couldn't see what he was doing as he once again took up the incantation. Then the son of a gun poured a giant scooper of cold water over my head. I believe I heard him cackling. More scoopers of water came in rapid succession, down my back, across the shoulders, in my face, across my chest, into my lap. This went on for 2 or 3 minutes until I was utterly soaked. Ravi had told me in advance that I would be getting a bit damp. In fact, and I admit that I'd missed the danger signals entirely, Ravi told me to remove my wallet and mobile phone from my pockets, or they too would have been inundated. While the water fell over me, I laughed and winced. It was mighty cold water, and made the sort of noises one might make when gingerly stepping into the cold ocean. Then the chanting stopped, and so did the water. I like to play along wherever I go, to be a good sport, hail fellow, well met, and all that, especially when I'm in foreign lands and don't understand the local customs. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, this monk is just screwing with me. Someth Mian then explained that part of his mission is to run an NGO that helps bring clean water to rural settlements. He also operates a school for 50 poor children who live and study there because their parents can't afford to send them to private school. Donations, including from those who receive the water blessings, and yes, I gave a donation, help fund those charitable works. And then Someth Mian tied a bright red string around my wrist as evidence of the blessing, and then insisted that we pose together for a photograph. I'm Mark Orwoll, and I'm all wet, but that's always the case. I'll see you next week. Mwah!
The swing begins. Mark Orwoll is at it again, and that cat is swinging. Yeah, that cat is swinging. The party don't stop when Mark's in the space.